What is up, YouTube family? Welcome back to On-Chain Gaming. My name is Jake, the On-Chain Gamer, and today I have a super exciting video because we're talking about Mirandus, which is the upcoming blockchain crypto game I am most looking forward to out of all of the upcoming games, and we have so much news to share in this video. So I cannot wait to share it all with you. There's a new Mirandus website. We just learned how to get pet dragons in the world of Mirandus. There's a bunch of new buildings that were just minted in Mirandus, and in the new Mirandus Monday, we were given a look and we were able to download a program. This is like the first pre-alpha footage of Mirandus that we're actually able to explore ourselves and move around in, and it is a simulation of Mirandus's forest. So we're gonna be taking a look at all four of these things in today's video. It might be a little bit more of a longer one, but it's also going to be an epic one. So without further ado, let's roll the On-Chain Gaming intro.
On-Chain Gaming.
Let's start it off by looking at the new Mirandus website, which is very cool. It's an immersive experience, and if I could give one piece of feedback for it though, it's that it might have a little bit too much scrolling, but it is a very cool website. And while you guys are taking a look at it, let me explain to you something that was just announced in the new Mirandus Monday, which is the order in which people are going to get to start playing Mirandus. So the first people that are going to be able to enter the world of Mirandus are the deed owners, starting with the most expensive deeds and then working down to the least expensive deeds. So Citadel owners, the 5 Citadel owners, are going to be the first ones to enter the world of Mirandus. The reason for this is that these Citadel owners are literally going to need to pick where in the world of Mirandus they want to build each of their 5 citadels. And these are massive castles, massive cities, and until they're established, because they're going to make a big difference on how Mirandus is, how the map is laid out, is these citadels need to be placed in the world. After all the citadels are placed, then the dukes, the archdukes, some of the big cities that are not citadels, some of those deed owners are going to be allowed into Mirandus, because then they have to found all of those cities. After that, we're going to have town owners, and then ranching hamlets, and then finally we will have all of the homesteads. And once all of the deed owners have entered Mirandus, after that, node owners are going to be able to enter Mirandus. And if you don't know, nodes are actually super cool. You own passive income. If you have a node, you get to mine Gala daily, so it's really cool. And then also, like, Mirandus is going to be played on the nodes. So these nodes are servers that the game is going to be played on, a massive decentralized server base. So it makes sense that the people hosting the game are then going to be the next ones allowed into the world. But then after node owners, we're going to have Gala Gold members. So everyone who's in Gala Gold is then going to get access to the Mirandus Alpha. And one really interesting thing about the way that this is going to work is that you'll notice I didn't mention building owners once. And that's because as far as Gala has said, building owners are not going to get any early access to Mirandus, which is a little bit sad because my farming hamlet gets me into Mirandus before my forge does, even though my forge is a far more expensive Mirandus NFT. So it just goes to show you that people are going to be entering the world of Mirandus based on necessity. Like, people that need to put down their deeds need to be there before players can join, because imagine you have all the Gala Gold members rush into Mirandus and they're like, there's no citadels, there's no towns, there's nothing here. That just wouldn't work very well. So it makes sense that the towns and cities are going to have to be established first. And remember, this is a first time thing. No other game has ever launched without the towns and cities already in place. So it's kind of interesting and it's kind of cool. And the reason it's so different is that players truly own the world of Mirandus and need to build up the world before the mass of people can come and spend time in this virtual metaverse. Next up, let's look at this forest as a simulation program that we were able to download in the last Mirandus Monday. So as you guys are watching this forest as a simulation, let me describe to you exactly what you're looking at. This simulation is the forest growth model playing out inside a game environment. It shows in a sped up fashion how forests in Mirandus grow. we have been working hard at defining a language to have data-driven AI structures. At a fundamental level, every living thing is functionally the same. Creatures and plants all grow, age, and if in ideal conditions, breed. A tree grows, and if it's healthy, it produces new trees. If too many trees do it at once, then they will crowd one another out, and some of the trees will have to compete with others for sunlight and nutrients, meaning some of the trees will die. This simulation is obviously a gross simplification of what the forests in Mirandus will look like. They will obviously look much cooler than this, but it was specifically designed to show the logic behind the life cycle of trees. In this simulation, green trees represent healthy and growing trees, yellow represents those that are sick, and those that are gray have died and will collapse to provide nutrients for other trees. This aspect of simulation can be expanded to intersect with every other creature in the world. A rat, a goblin, or deer will have their own requirements that will be layered into the ecosystem, which will be responsive to player interactions. This is important because the world of Mirandus is waiting for you to come and make it your own. So yeah, guys, I think this is really cool. I'm glad that they're showing us some of these simulations, some of the way that the AI is programmed to try and create a realistic, like thriving forest where if you cut down trees and thin forests, you might actually grow healthier and larger trees. Where forests are overgrown, then they're gonna kill each other out and the forest will progressively move. So you have to cut it back. And yeah, it's just gonna be really interesting. I'm excited to see how this sort of simulation of a world works and feels like to be inside of. All right, next up, let's talk about how you can get a pet dragon in the world of Mirandus, because this is pretty cool and it was emailed to me, so I want to share with you this information. It was hidden at the very bottom of a Gala Games news email, and it says, "Ready to name your dragon?" Here is a little sneak peek. You saw some cool Townstar skins come out as rewards for node operators today. We'll look at those in a second. And if you collect one of each of the around 50 skins, you can crypto craft it into a Mirandus familiar. What name would you give your pet dragon? That is pretty cool. So if you guys don't know, Townstar just got a bunch of Mirandus skins, and let's take a look at some of them. You can see here the Mirandus Woodshed, the Mirandus Well skin, the Mirandus Storehouse skin, and then also the Mirandus Silo skin, and the Mirandus Farmhouse skin, and this is just the start. Every single building in Townstar is going to be getting a Mirandus skin, so that as you're building your town in Townstar, as you're developing your farm, it will feel as though your farm or your town exists in the world of Mirandus. So it's really cool. I think it's pretty fun that they're adding NFT skins to Townstar, but I think it's even more epic that if you own all of the Mirandus skins in Townstar, you're gonna be able to take those 50 skins and mint a Mirandus pet dragon. So that is really, really epic. I have a feeling that this is one of those skins that people are going to be trying to collect because a lot of people are going to want a pet dragon on their shoulder. I mean, doesn't that sound epic? That sounds epic to me. So I might even try to collect all of these 50 skins depending on how expensive they are. I'm thinking that if they're like $20 each, then it will cost about $1,000 for these skins and then the pet dragon. But remember that that money is not going to be lost, because in the future, if there are more people that want dragons in the world of Mirandus, and this is one of the easiest ways to get a dragon, then you're going to be able to sell your skins in the future if you no longer want your NFTs. So this is an investment, and no, it's not guaranteed I'll be able to get 1,000 out if I put 1,000 in, but it's interesting enough of a proposition. I'm willing to maybe lose 200 bucks to have a pet dragon on my shoulder in the world of Mirandus. For now, there's only like 6 skins that are out, but once all of the buildings have Mirandus skins, and if you collect all of those skins, then it's going to turn into a pretty sweet Mirandus reward. All right, guys, we have almost covered all of the Mirandus news, but there's one piece left, and it's a big one. One of the most exciting pieces of news, which is all of these new buildings that have been coming out in Mirandus. So if we look at the most recently minted buildings in Mirandus, there's like a cloth store or an outlet outfitter where you're gonna be able to buy clothes. There's also a large stone craft shop, and then a tannery that was just minted, as well as inns that were just minted in the world of Miranda. So there are a ton of new buildings that are continually being minted and added to this ecosystem. And one really interesting tidbit here, and guys, this has not been confirmed at all, this is just my speculation, but deeds, the deed maps that I've looked at before, which show the size of each deed and how many building slots are gonna be in each deed, that website, that page is no longer on the internet. Gala Games took it down. And when I look at that, like, okay, their deed maps are no longer up, and there's all of these new buildings being added, and there were already worries that there weren't gonna be enough building slots for the buildings that already existed. And the fact that they've said that they might expand deeds in the future if they need them to be bigger for all of the buildings, I have a feeling that they might be working on an expansion, a size expansion for all of the deeds in the world of Mirandus. Also, all of the deeds that are still available just doubled in price. So all of this kind of is coming together, like tons of new buildings. They're no longer showing the size of the deeds on the internet, and they've said they might expand deeds in the future. They've said that in the past. I have a feeling deeds in Mirandus might be getting a little bit bigger. So if you own a deed, just keep that in mind. This is just my speculation, but your deed might be a little bit bigger in the world of Mirandus than you initially thought. All right, guys, that is all the news I needed to cover. If you enjoyed this update video, then leave a big thumbs up, as that will help us out in the YouTube algorithm. The algorithm sees the engagement, sees that people enjoy it, and then it recommends it to more people. So it's a great way to help my channel grow. If you still don't even know what Mirandus is after this, because this is the first Mirandus video that you've seen of mine, then you definitely need to check out some of my other videos, because I've made a ton of videos describing exactly what Mirandus is and how epic of a play to earn crypto metaverse it's going to be, why I'm so excited about it. And then once again, guys, if you're not subscribed yet, hit subscribe, click that notification bell, and until next time, have fun roaming the metaverse.